2024 sucked. There you go, I said it. End of video, goodbye. No, in all honesty, that's probably the best and simplest way that I can put it. 2024 just kind of sucked. I don't think I've ever been so candid about my mental health struggles until this year, but I kind of had no choice. I went through the worst depressive episode I've ever had to suffer through, and honestly, I'm still in recovery from it. While I can make my videos and perform and just live life normally, I'm still not the same person that I was before all of this started. And to be honest, I'm also really self-conscious about it, kind of the consequence of one of the people I was talking to this year making me feel that way, but I have a bit of difficulty talking about my mental health struggles now. There have been more days since September when I consider myself to have come out of all of this stuff that I really should have taken as rest days, but I didn't, because in the back of my mind I just had this little voice that was going, "This is all in your head, just get up and walk it off." And that's a really unhealthy mindset to live with. I am in the process of finding a regular talk therapist, but between doing my covers, work, living life normally, I can't really find the time to. The honest truth is that I'm just not okay. I still have a lot of work to do on myself and the relationships I have with other people. However, I have a bit more of an optimistic look on this year than you probably think. While it's true I'm not okay, I've learned a lot this year about resiliency. Because let's be honest, humans are really fucking resilient. There's a mentality that I've started to develop that is probably a little bit unhealthy, but it's also been kind of helpful. It's an unhealthy mindset to believe that people who are going through things like war and famine and corruption and stuff like that, it's unhealthy to believe that they're going through worse than somebody who's going through mental health and depression stuff. That's the reason why there is so much stigma around mental health and depression stuff. Because the truth is that whatever factors are affecting your ability to live your life properly, they're all equally as valid as each other. And this is the important thing. If you do believe that there are people out there who are having it worse than you, remember that they still managed to get through everything and come out of it with a smile. That's what's important. If they can do it, you can too. Life always gets better. It always finds a way. Just sometimes takes a really shitty road to get there. That's ultimately what I want to be teaching people through my hardships this year, is that regardless of anything, you can still get through it. You are absolutely capable of it, even if it doesn't feel like it. Or, in the words of Undertale, despite everything, it's still you. And speaking of that, I don't really have a segue to get into the actual content of the video, so let's talk about the stats for this year and kind of put the mental health stuff behind us for now. Despite everything I went through this year, the music did surprisingly well. 21 covers, 120 songs total, or 185 if you include duplicates, over 280,000 channel views, equating to about 150,000 views in just the last year, almost 1,600 subscribers, and a little over 10 hours of recorded music total. There were also a couple original tunes, but nothing particularly special for album releases. The only exception to that is releasing Vengeful Spirit on Bandcamp, but that's about it. I also added a bunch of guitars. I know. I'm sorry. At this point, I don't even remember the order I got these instruments in, so here's the ones I have. I bought back my LTD MH350 after regretting selling it, and it's always been paired with my C1 FRS Apocalypse. I also got a Schecter Solo 2 Custom, a Harley Benson EX84, which is a stupidly good guitar for its price point, a Sterling JP160 I bought off of a friend, and a Sterling JP70 I traded one of my guitars to that same friend for. I think this year had the widest variety of instrument usages because I was forcing myself to cycle them out as I went. And, I predicted correctly last year that I would have a love for all the instruments I have even more because these all play frickin' fantastic now. At the same time, however, I let go of a few of my instruments, namely my LTD M17, which is my first 7-string guitar, a Sterling Stingray SR30, which is what I traded to get the JP70 for, and I also sold my Gretsch Streamliner right at the very end of the year, thankfully, and I've not replaced it with anything yet, but the plan right now is to replace it with a PRS hollow body. I'm also wanting to sell my Squier Jazz Bass in favor of a Sterling Stingray 4-string because I've been playing all of my Sterling Stingrays for every single video of year 1 so far. And speaking of that, my gigantic project of completing 1 full year of weekly video game covers started back in September, which is fantastic. I didn't realize how much I needed it to hyper-focus on until I started doing it again. Even despite its hardships, I've been loving going back to the weekly schedule. It gives me something to look forward to every Sunday afternoon. And speaking more on year 1, since I don't really have anything else to talk about in this video, I will be doing a wrap-up video at the very end of year 1 in September. This will go over the stats specifically for the block of time from September 15th, 2024 to September 14th, 2025. This doesn't cover all of my covers, just year 1. My yearly retrospectives will continue as normal, but they will be about the entirety of my channel, not just the weekly years. After I make the year 1 wrap-up video, I'll go on a few months of break to prepare for doing it again for year 2. That'll probably start sometime around December next year. So with that, despite the hardships this year gave me, it's finally over. Thank you all very much for sticking it out with me if you did, and for waiting so patiently for me to release more video game covers. 2025 will have a lot more music, thankfully, because I'm actually going to be focusing exclusively on the weekly stuff, aside from work. So, thank you all very much. Let's make 2025 better than 2024. Thank you for watching, Dragon Knights. Stay classy, and remember, a dragon is only as strong as you let it be. See you in the skies, all the best, and take care.